नीलकुन्तलभरं कालाम्बुदश्यामलं कर्पूराकलिताभिरामवपुषं कन्तेन्तु बिम्बाननं श्रीदण्डाङ्कुशपाशशूलविलसत्पाणिं मदान्धद्विपारूढं शत्रुविमर्दनं हृदि महाशास्तारमाद्यं भजे। तेजोमण्डलमध्यगं त्रिनयनं दिव्याम्बरालङ्कृतं देवं पुष्पशरेक्षुचापविलसत्माणिक्यपात्राभयं बिभ्राणं करपङ्कजैः मदगजस्कन्धाधिरूढं विभुं शास्तारं शरणं नमामि सततं त्रैलोक्यसम्मोहनं सुश्यामकोमलविशालतनुं विचित्रम् वासोऽवसानमरुणोत्पलदामहस्तम् उत्तङ्गरत्नमकुटं कुटिलाग्रकेशं शास्तारमिष्टवरदं शरणं प्रपद्ये। ध्यायेदुमापति भाग्यपुत्रं वेत्रोज्ज्वलत्करतलं भसिताभिरामं विश्वैकवश्यवपुषं मृगया विनोदम् वाञ्छानुरूपफलदं वरभूतनाथं शास्तेति केचित् कतिचित् कुमारः स्वामीति मातेति पितेति भक्त्या यं प्रार्थयन्ते जगदीशितारं स एक एव प्रभुरद्वितीयः तमालश्यामलं भद्रं पिङ्गलाकल्पसुन्दरम् आदिज्याकार्मुकं वन्दे सत्यमव्यक्तयौवनम् एकं शास्त्रं भूतनाथार्यगीतम् एको देवः धर्मशास्ता स एव एको मन्त्रः तस्य नामानि यानि एकं कर्म तस्य देवस्य सेवा त्रयम्बकपुराधीशं गणाधिपसमन्वितं गजारूढमहं वन्दे शास्तारं कुलदैवतं शास्तारं कुलदैवतं शास्तारं कुलदैवतं कनिमूलमहागणपतिस्वामिये शरणमय्यप्प माळिगपुरत्तम्म देवी लोकमातावे शरणमय्यप्प सद्गुरुनाथने शरणमय्यप्पा एंगल कुल देवमे शरणमय्यप्पा स्वामिये शरणमय्यप्पा. So in the last session we covered the first verse, the beginning verse of Sri Bhutanatha Gita. That was Sri Bhagavanuvacha Janma Mrityadi Dukkhanam Nashaya Mahipate Karmanam Nashanam Mukhyam Tadupayam Nishamyatam. That's what Bhagavan said. We saw that. Today we are going to see the second verse, which goes like Bhakshanena vina rajan kshunnasham tu yatha tatha karmanasham vina janma nashamichhati bhutale. That is a verse. So this verse is from Sri Bhutanatha Gita, the second verse, which is from Bhutanatha Upakhyanam in Brahmanda Purana. So the Padacheda, traditionally when you say a verse, you have to do the breakup of the words, which should be like this. Bhakshanena vina rajan shut nasham tu yatha tatha karma nasham vina janma nasham ichhati bhutale. So that is the Padacheda. The meaning of the verse is, O king, anyone wishing to get rid of suffering that is caused by birth without getting rid of their past karma on this earth, they are trying to remove their hunger without food. How it is not possible to remove hunger without eating, so also it is not possible to attain freedom without resolving one's past karma. That is the meaning of the verse. The word karma in this context, it does not mean action. Karoti iti karma. That is not the meaning here. In the sense of work, that's not how karma is used by Bhagavan in this context. By karma, what Bhagavan means is the punyam and papam that is born due to karma or action. So here karma means both dharma and adharma. In other words, that which is known as or named as dharma or punyam or adharma or papam, that is the meaning of the word karma here. And why is Bhagavan talking about karma nasham? Because this punya papa, it ties down, it bogs down the individual by a chain, an invisible chain called karma bandha. And we will have to give up, we will have to drop this papam to begin with, and then eventually punyam as well, because it is a karma shackle, the karma chain. And what will help us in giving up this karma bandham, this punya papam? We have heard this phrase while doing this regular bhajan session. They sing this song. It's a very popular song in Shabarimala. Punya papa chumadakalam irumudi kittu mendi. So punya papa chumada and irumudi kettum endi. That's what they say in the song. So the act of surrendering this mudi or granthi or shackle or chain, this irumudi of punyam and papam, will give you Dharmashastra's kripa, Ayyappan's grace. So this prasada or grace of Bhagavan will lead to this jnana prapti or an accomplishment of clarity in our vision due to our gaining knowledge by Bhagavan's prasada. And as a result of that knowledge, that clarity of vision, that jnanam, you will give up the bonds, all bonds that is tying you down. You can drop that punya papa karma shackle, that karma chain. And we can know this punya papa or this dharma, which is called as dharma viveka in the Shastra, by common sense. And what is the common sense rule for knowing punyam or papam? The rule is Atmavat Sarvabhuteshu. Think of others as Atmavat, as yourself. Think of others as Atmaswarupa. What I don't want others to do unto me, I shall also not do it unto others. By applying this one simple principle, we can learn through common sense that most of punya and papam is based on adhishtam or an invisible power, the details of which we have to learn from the Shastram, like the Bhutanatha Gita. Because common sense can never sense punya papam with complete conviction. You can have a general sense, but the complete knowledge will come only from Shastram. We can have a common sense, a samanya jnanam, but to know it specifically, we need the Shastram, the teaching. Therefore, from Shasta alone, we have to learn what is punyam and what is papam. Thus, with the help of common sense in general, and also with Shastric study, from Gita study especially, we should gain this dharma viveka. And what is this dharma viveka? Whenever a person is intending to do adharma, something which is very harmful, when there is an urge, an inclination to do adharma, what is their mindset? What is the motivation? The common mentality is that I want to do this adharma because through that I gain some short-term profit. If not, why should anyone do adharma? So whatever action we do is due to our seeing some short-term benefit for us. The mental disposition is that we see it as a sadhanam, a means for a definite gain, though it is short-term. By telling a lie, I am getting some short-term advantage. And what is adharma viveka? Shastram educates me by saying that when you tell that lie, you are getting a short-term advantage. This is called as ishtam. But in the long term, later, the very same adharma is going to produce an anishtam, a negative result, which is going to be greater than this positive result that I'm going to get now. So the immediate advantage is going to be neutralized by a greater disadvantage, which is not visible now. Because I'll have to pay the price, like a person with hypertension tending to eat his favorite snack with a nice taste. And suddenly the awareness comes that I'm a chronic patient. Because of that, later I'm going to pay the price, and that price is going to be greater than the advantage I'm getting now by eating this. And this refined understanding is called as Viveka Jnanam. When you understand it through Viveka Jnanam, what does it do? You drop the snack. Ajnanam makes me take the snack, but Viveka Jnanam makes me drop it if I am prone to hypertension. Similarly, every adharma I tend to do, the vritti or the thought pattern that rises in the mind, and before it gets converted into action or into vyavahara, that vritti or that thought, it gets neutralized. In the same manner, dharma also, when I want to perform dharma, a good, positive action, I don't see the spiritual growth, the punyam involved in it. And therefore, I'm only seeing in it the physical difficulty, the pain. So I don't want to do dharma. I have to get up early in the morning, in Brahma Muhurtam, and I had to do these prayers, this meditation. I had to do this Nitya Karma. The superficial mind sees these dharma as bothersome. It is anishtam because I have to take pains in doing my regular dharma. Therefore, my tendency is that I should not do japam, puja, or sharanam, or any dharma because I see the physical strain. Because of this mindset, I tend to drop dharmic actions out of dvesha. And what will this Gita or Shastra Vichara will do? The pain that I see is superficial, but if I take that pain regularly, like regular physical exercise, in the long term, it is going to give me the strength of Viveka Jnanam. Dharma has got superficial pain, but in long term, it is jnana sadhanam. Therefore, I know that even though dharma is painful, I still perform it anyway. Even though adharma is advantageous for the moment, I avoid it, seeing the future pain. So this should be internalized, and this is called Viveka Jnanam. Thus, a person is converted from adharmi to dharmi. So, what is this adharmi? What is the definition of adharmi? When actions are governed by aviveka due to my past tendencies, my vasanas, my durvasanas, I am called an adharmi. And when my actions are governed by Shastra, by Gita, by Viveka Jnanam, then I am called a dharmi. And at that point, no more do I see through the chakshushi drishti, with my eyes, with my senses. I have developed a third eye called Shastra drishti. That is the reason why we put this chandana on our forehead, the sandal paste. What does it indicate? Everyone who applies the chandanam is declaring to himself and also to the world that my actions won't be governed by aviveka, but my actions will be governed by Shastra, by Shastra Pramana. And that person who has this Chandanam and Vibhuti, he is called a Swami, a devotee, whose master is Bhagavan Dharmashastra alone. And the moment my third eye is open, it is born, which means through Dharma, Dharma, Viveka, Jnanam, I am no more under the control of Papa. That means my impulsive words and my impulsive actions has slowed down. So how do I know that I am moving towards dharma or not? I have to scan my mind, my day-to-day behavior. The more impulsive my words and deeds are, the more I am papavasham gataha. But this person, this Swami, is not papavasham gataha. In fact, he has becomes a Swami by giving up papam, by giving up adharma, by taking bath in this pampa. When you say papam, papam, it becomes pampa. Papam is converted into dharma, and he has given up this adharma, and is a devotee whose master is Dharmashastra, Bhagavan alone. So getting rid of this karma bandha is to be our main work, our main karma. And if you have to perform karma, it has to be guided by Shastra, by Shastra Viveka. Because the karma you do is in real time. The individuals with whom you are working in the world are real. If you think the world is Maya, that is, it is unreal, there is no meaning in our karma or our effort. There is this wrong idea, this mistaken notion that the world we live in is Maya. It's not real. That is not true. Why? Bhagavan is telling the king, his student, to work his way through Shastra Viveka to get rid of the bondage of samsara. He is asking him to do karmanasham. And anyone who thinks that this world is not real, that it is Maya, will show no interest at all in doing his karma, his duties. That's why we meet people who are absolutely indifferent to their karma. They have no enthusiasm, utsaha in their work, the work they do, except for some few very individuals who call themselves spiritual. And how did this mindset come about? It was because of this Maya Jagat philosophy, this idea, Vayve Mayam, that was spread through various sources to people in general. So common people imbibe it through various channels. There is nothing worthy in this world. This is Maya. So please go and abide in yourself in Atma, your own real self. That is the wrong advice that is given. Without looking into the detail, without looking into all the aspects of the teaching of karma, the teaching becomes twisted and had the opposite effect in the minds of the common listener. So it led to utter selfishness and total apathy for others. But in a true sadhaka, in a genuine seeker, this human apathy will not be there. But to millions of people, the result was a mind indifferent to the world, no regard for the affairs of others. That attitude became prevalent in people. That is why Dharmashastra gave this teaching in the Bhutanada Gita. That is why this Viveka Jnanam was imparted through this teaching like a strong medicine for the king, Rajashekara. Then for him and now for us. And if we pay close attention to it, we can benefit. We did not understand or follow it until Ayyappa came about and instructed this for us to gain Viveka in this Kali Yuga. And if you develop this Vivekam, one great outcome will be that through karma or your duties, through work, you will attain that very freedom through karmanasha. You can continue to do your karma, the work that is presented before you by circumstances, which is ultimately Bhagavan's plan. You can handle any situation. You can handle your relationships with others. And while doing all this, you would become free from all bondages, all shackles that karma or work produces. You are cheerful or experience a pleasurable feeling as you engage in action. This is called as chitta prasada. Otherwise, action produces bondage. Only if you do it ignorantly, without viveka, with aviveka. But this viveka you gain through the teachings of Gita will help you to perform karmas or actions free from all bondages, all shackles, leading to freedom from karma bandha, which we call moksha. And in addition to being free from karma bandha, you will be a good-natured, cheerful individual citizen, deeply caring for the people around you, for the society around you. You will be doing magnanimous deeds to the people and to the society at large. So this new teaching in this Bhutanada Gita, which Sri Dharmashastra is presenting to Rajashekara, and through him to all of us, has not been expressed in our life and action all these years. But in this modern era, we can do so, and we will have to take a resolve to do so. Our whole life and process of work needs this cognitive change. It is possible only by turning to Shastra for guidance, and by sheer hard work, with commitment, and with a sense of priority, and with the guidance from Sri Dharmashastra, which is very relevant for a large part of the world and for us as well, we can progress. That is what Bhagavan says when he says, Karmanasham vina rajan. O king, without Viveka, there is no other option. With Viveka, you will destroy all karma. Karmanasham will happen. Karma bandha, the bondage of action, will go away. You are afraid of action that it may create some kind of bondage. It might get into trouble. But Bhagavan clearly says, O king, I am assuring you, if you take to Viveka Buddhi, no bondage will come your way. So that is the philosophy, the tattvam which can bless and elevate every human being. Most people cannot give up work. So most of us will be in bondage. Why should it be so? All of us can be in work. At the same time, can remain free from this bondage. So that is the universal relevance of Bhutanada Gita's teaching, Bhagavan's teaching. Karma bandham or bondage arising from karma, you will destroy it by Bhagavan's grace. Karma will remain, work will remain, bandha will go. This is a great teaching in the Gita, the Bhutanada Gita, for all people, for all sincere seekers of knowledge. May that Dharma Shastra, may Ayyappa bestow us with that Viveka Jnanam. Swasti prajabhyah paripalayantam nyayena margena mahim mahisha go brahmanebhyah shubhamastu nityam loka samasta sukhino bhavantu kale varshatu parjanyah prithvi sasya shalini deshoyam kshobarahitah brahmana santu nirbhayaah sarve bhavantu sukhinah सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्। ओम शांति शांति शांति।